up day. I made a mistake at first this morning, and like I said, that's why I want to be completely transparent, completely, real with you guys. Anyone coming out to these videos, I'm not here to sell you a course, homie. I'm just here to make money with you. I'm here to praise God with you. That's my mission here. I'm not here to sell you guys any courses. I imagine you guys got a course, bro? No, I don't have a course. I'm just here to show you what I do. That's it. I am not a financial advisor. I am not a guru. I am not anyone special. I'm just a person that has been in the market for a while, learning, developing a skill that the Lord has taught me, and I'm here to show you guys today pretty much what I do. I show you guys every single day, man. Today was, I think it was like a $1,200, $1,300 day. If you had kept holding, you would have made a lot more than that for sure. But the market's just been, it's been all over the place. In my eyes at least. I know some people love this kind of market. I don't. I do to an extent. But just like more so the beginning of the market, I didn't like the beginning of the day. Number one, I trade at 9:30 in the morning. As you guys know, I trade the 15-minute orb strategy. If you are new here, it is the strategy that has worked the most for me. Does not mean it's going to work for you. It really depending on, if you like it or not. Like for me, it's simple, and it gives me confidence to hold the trades. It gives me confidence that what I'm doing is, a trade that normally will work out, and if it doesn't work out, the market's just against me that day, and then we shut our computers, shut our computers down, move on, which I can get into that stuff on another video if you guys want to know what my rules are, because rules are just as important as your trading, okay? But so basically what I do, man, is I start at 9:30, like I said, New York time, so we go to the 9:30 candlestick. This is the Nasdaq, okay? You guys can do options trading if you guys want to do SPY. I've been getting into that as well. I never really used to do options, but my friend and I were talking about it. We're going to try to get into it. It's extra money on the side. You can put, some money in the account, and that's actually your real money. You're not using a prop firm. So again, that's something you shouldn't be doing unless you have a lot of experience, which again, I'm only a year in, man. I'm not perfect at all. No one is perfect in my opinion in the market. We all lose. It's about overall knowing the trend of the market, where it's going, where, you think it's going, even though you probably get stomped out, man. It happens. But basically we have a higher high right here, a lower low right here, okay? So if anyone wants to know what that means, right here, what you guys see on, this is a site called Ninja Trader. You guys can use it. It's what I use, or Trade of Eight, same exact thing. Okay, you're gonna see candles. Each candle represents a time frame, okay? So it's just as simple as you can really see it, right? This is a candle from 15 minutes. So this is from 9:30 to 9:45. This morning, which today is the 4th of September, okay? So we have a high, which is the highest point that the candle hit, and a low right here, down here, which is that 9, it could have been at any time, I don't know. So it was between that 15 minutes, okay? So this is the highest it went, lowest it went. What we do from there is we change it from the 15 minutes to the 5 minute, okay? And this is what I told you, like, it just builds confidence in your trades. It makes it a lot easier, though today was wonky. I'm gonna be honest, like I said, and that's why we have to have, like, confluence and stop losses, etc. If you're in the wrong direction, you're in the wrong direction, bro, and it happens to every single one of us. So don't be upset with yourself, okay? So we see a closure right here, all right? It goes into the fair value gap that I had already set from previous. I'm assuming it was in 1 hour or something. But we see a complete and utter closure. That's what we're looking for. So my strategy without confluence is all we're looking for is a closure on the 5 minute candle, which is, again, this is 5 minutes now. Underneath the lower low or on top high of the higher high, okay? So we saw a lower low closure on the 5 minute. Me, automatically, because of my strategy, assumes, okay, well, the market is telling us it could potentially be a down day. Does that mean it's going to be a down day? It does not. It just means that what we potentially could be seeing is a down day, okay? So that's why confluence is so important, knowing that, hey, like, just because my strategy is saying this doesn't mean that's what the market wants to do, okay? So exactly what we see here, your boy, I had immediately thought because it was heading back down again, I had hit it into a put, okay? I'm being real, you guys. I made a little bit of money, realized real quick that money was being stomped out, got closed out about over here. I didn't want any part of it. When it starts coming above that lower low again, I walk out and I wait. And if I recall exactly where it was, I noticed that we had seen a complete and utter, what I see normally at 9:50, 9:55 in the morning is sometimes we see it come through this lower low and head up for the day. And I knew that's based off of edge. That's based off experience, knowing, and I could have been completely wrong. I think I had my stop loss down here, but I entered a buy right here because I knew exactly what was happening, okay? We had obviously seen that it was a green day. The daily was bullish. The 4 hour was bullish at that point, if I recall. I might be wrong on that, but either way, that's what I did. I went in for a trade right here, and I held all the way. I don't remember exactly where I got out, but I think it was like right here, somewhere around there. And obviously, because I saw that it was dropping like a mofo, and I knew that it could potentially come down to the 1 minute fair value gap and grab liquidity, or I could have done what I did yesterday, which is flow right through it and come all the way back down again to lower lows. You know, for me, I like to get out while I can. You know, it's important to do that. You know, because if you mess up, you mess up. You know, and like your account is going to have an impact on that. So, you know, that once you see that green candle going above that the lower low and a complete and utter closure on the 5 minute, you know, that's giving you quite a bit of confirmation that we're going into the green for some type of reason. Whether it might be to come up to this gap right here and friggin' fall ass back down, it could do that too. We don't know. That's the thing, is like, that's why stop losses and take profits, those things are so important in the market. You know, a lot of people don't teach you about that stuff. You know, it's important to have, you know, stop loss. You know, for example, if I had went in right here for that put, right, and my stop loss, I didn't have one, I would have been blown out of the market. You know what I mean? It would have been really, really bad day, right? And that's exactly where I put in my stop loss. A lot of questions I get on that as well. I'll put my stop loss right there, because if it goes above that, again, this is already the lower low line right here. So if we had put the stop loss right there, and it flying through that stop loss, flying through that lower low, I should say, which is at your stop loss, you're going out. You know what I mean? Like, especially if you don't have a lot of capital in your account, you're gonna have to do those like trades that have minimal risk. You know, and like the risk is everything. Your risk management is so important in this trading journey, man. You know, I've learned that again and again. I've gotten stomped out again and again and again. You know, and that's why I try to be so realistic with you guys and say, this is a journey that is going to take you time, you know, and like, it's a journey, you know, that's why it's called that for a reason, man, you know, and praise God for everything I've learned, you know, in this market. It's been a heck of a journey, man. There's been a fun days, hard days, you know, and like, that's why I try to keep it real, man, and tell you, you know, you're not always going to be, you know, up in profit, you know, and some days are going to be extremely difficult to really grasp your head around the fact that you made a wrong choice. And, you know, just don't beat yourself up too much. You know, one day you're going to be making in the dough, you're going to be rolling it up, not in a bad way, rolling the dough. And you'll be able to give more, man. You'll be able to do more, you know, and like that, I think that's why, at least for me, that's why I went into this game. It's just, you know, being able to provide for my family, man, you know, being able to provide for my family and realize that like I could do it all in my brain, you know, hitting buttons. And, you know, obviously through the grace of God, you know, who showed me the strategy, I believe that if I didn't learn the strategy, man, I'd still be losing every single day. You know, that this market is extremely difficult, and it's not for the weak. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You know, make sure to subscribe if you know, hit that notification bell if you want to see my journey. You know, you want to see wins and losses and trade with me, and you know, see what I'm doing for trades, etc. Again, not a guru, not an advisor. Don't listen to my advice. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, please make sure to smash that like button, comment down below. It really does help these videos, helps me continue to make these videos. And I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace out.